Today, social media freedom of spectator criticism prevails and avoids engaging in any constructive dialogue, only to perpetuate negative dialogue instead of the collective freedom of expression and exchange of ideas required to plan for community success. The right to be a critic of the past is reserved for only those who are willing to cooperate in planning and building for the future. As an instructor for 20 years, teaching the students knowledge to gain employment as a graphic design graduate was the easy part. Working with the wide range of student attitudes required a greater understanding of how to motivate students with far different attitudes to first understand themselves and complete work required to learn the in-depth knowledge required for success. Lesson 1 was not being late for participation in morning lectures and classroom assignment demonstrations like this one. Then second, avoid skipping class early without challenging yourself when given the opportunity to learn with an instructor who is there for assistance and guidance. This presentation is an adaptation of the informative audiovisual lectures I developed to assist students to understand themselves and how to share opinions in a learning environment with fellow students and instructors. One of the greatest tools used to illustrate the diversified personalities and attitudes that dominate any discussion on any topic among any collective group was a reference book, 6 Thinking Hats by Edward de Bono. Within the concept of 6 thinking hats, each of a different color, we introduce the conceptual meaning of each colored hat associated with the different personalities and their approach to thinking about thinking. Within the concept of 6 thinking hats, each of a different color, we introduce the conceptual meaning of each colored hat associated with the different personalities and their approach to thinking about thinking. We start with a very simple version of 6 thinking hats to introduce the diversified attitudes within any given group of personalities. This can be in the classroom, where I use the concept, or when any group gets together with a common interest, sharing viewpoints for the collective interest of problem solving or agenda planning, or any group with a common interest such as corporate executives, a focus committee, a community council, with a defined objective for discussion to reach defined goals. Then, for discussion purposes, we will divide the 6 thinking hats into teams, which are the negative team and team number 2, the positive team. Now, let's go back and introduce team number 1, the negative team. The white hat thinker is concerned with objective facts and figures as a basis for processing information, but can be influenced by the opinions of others. The white hat will consider the points expressed by others without contradiction, but wants facts and figures and information to validate an expressed opinion. Here are the white hat variations to illustrate those viewpoints, as shown in these hats. The red hat thinker expresses the emotional view. Red suggesting anger, seeing red, reacting with rage and emotions, expressing a viewpoint considered more important than other viewpoints, without validation included in that expression. The necessary one-on-one interaction with other viewpoints, expressed by other team members. These variations illustrate those viewpoints shown in this series of hats. The black hat thinker is gloomy and negative in the expression of negative aspects of why it cannot be done. Whatever viewpoints are presented for discussion, the black hat thinker quickly outlines the reasons that must be considered to validate why the concept cannot be done. The lack of willingness to accept the merit of viewpoints expressed by others on the team can and will influence the negative aspects during and following the discussion. Then let's introduce team number 2, the positive team. The yellow hat thinker is sunny and positive, optimistic, and covers hope and positive thinking, suggesting the positive in all viewpoints, expressing confirmation possibilities of how such viewpoints complement other concepts for implementation, observing the collective positives, and expressing opinion open for further discussion. The green hat thinker indicates creativity and new ideas. Green is the grass, vegetation, and abundant fertile growth. Taking the positive of all expressed viewpoints and expressing creative concepts for discussion. The blending of positive and negative opinions to perpetuate the comparative analysis into concepts that can be developed into plans that can be implemented as collective viewpoints. The blue hat thinker is concerned with control and the organization of the thinking process. Also the use of other hats. Blue is cool, and also the color of the sky, which is above everything else. As the facilitator of the process and not the dominant thinker, but more the collective thinker of all viewpoints expressed. This concept can be applied to assist any collective group of individuals to stay focused on the task while understanding the wide range of thinking that will be expressed during the discussion. Then there is the meeting and the call to order. Then we have the presentation of viewpoints from each of the thinking hats. White hat thinking. Facts. Neutral objectivity. Concern with data, facts, figures, and information. Red hat thinking. Feelings. The emotional view. The intuitive view. Hunches. Gut and gut feeling. Black hat thinking. Cautious. The logical negative. Careful and cautious. The judgment hat. Yellow hat thinking. Logical. Logical positive. Optimistic, sunny, and positive, covers hope. Green hat thinking, creativity, associated with energy, fertility, growth, creativity, and new ideas. Blue hat thinking, process control. The organizing hat, start and finish, controls the use of other hats. The royal hat, the owner, committed and invested, subjectively seeking objectivity. This is where a facilitator comes in as an impartial person that is not involved in the discussion, but just to manage the process, to assure that all viewpoints are documented under the process known as the Roberts Rules of Order. This presentation is only an introduction to a 1-hour lecture series on the teamwork required in the creative thinking process. There are 3 factors in the creative process: information, knowledge, and creativity.